Shalom, YouTube. God bless you all. It is the eve of Passover. I thought it was going to be tomorrow. Turns out it's at sunset. So, I hope everybody gets the chance to celebrate. If you don't have any unleavened bread, go get some tortillas. Follow these instructions. This is the most important day in the year. This is the most important holiday. This is the day Jesus was crucified. This is the day that God spared the firstborns of the Jews and their livestock while he smote the Egyptians to show his strength. So, Exodus chapter 12, the Passover. Those who do not keep the law of Moses do not believe in the God of Moses, period. If you're a Christian and you don't keep the law of Moses, are you really following Jesus? If you're a Muslim, you don't keep the law of Moses, do you really believe that Moses was a prophet? Or do you just believe what Muhammad said Moses said? And Yahweh spake unto Moses and Aaron in the land of Egypt, saying, This month shall be unto you the beginning of months. It shall be the first month of the year to you. Speak you unto all the congregation of Israel, saying, In the 10th day of this month they shall take to them every man a lamb, according to the house of their fathers, a lamb for a house. And if the house will be too little for the lamb, let him and his neighbor next unto the house take it according to the number of the souls. Every man according to his eating shall make your count for the lamb. Your lamb shall be without blemish, a male of the first year. You shall take it out from the sheep or from the goats, and you shall keep it up until the 14th day of the same month. Right now it's Nisan 14. And the whole assembly of the congregation of Israel shall kill it in the evening. And they shall take of the blood and strike it on the two side posts and on the upper doorpost of the houses, wherein they shall eat it. And they shall eat the flesh in that night. So this night, when the sun sets, it's 15 of Nisan. This is the day that you eat the Passover lamb. Eat the flesh in that night, roast with fire and unleavened bread, and with bitter herbs they shall eat it. So, roast with fire, unleavened bread, and bitter herbs. I bought some parsley for this. You should also salt the meat. You're supposed to cook your food with, you're supposed to salt everything you cook that is meat related. Eat of it not raw, nor sodden at all with water, but roast with fire, his head with his legs, and with the purtenance thereof. And you shall let none of it remain until the morning, and that which remains of it until the morning you shall burn with fire. And thus shall you eat it with your loins girded, your shoes on your feet, and your staff in your hand, and you shall eat it in haste. It is Yahweh's Passover. For I will pass through the land, in Hebrew it's Pascua, or Pesach. In Spanish, it's Pascua, but they celebrated Pascua on Easter. So this is the thing. Easter is not a real holiday because it's disconnected from the Passover. So the 15th of Nisan is the day that Jesus was crucified. The 17th of Nisan is the day he was resurrected. But we celebrated we celebrated Easter a month ago. So how does that work? For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and I will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, to both man and beast, and against all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment. I am Yahweh. And the blood shall be to you for a token upon the houses where you are. And when I see the blood, I will pass over you, and the plague shall not be upon you to destroy you when I smite the land of Egypt. And this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast to Yahweh throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by an ordinance forever. 7 days you shall eat unleavened bread. Tortillas apparently count as unleavened bread. Even the first day you shall put away all leaven, which is yeast, out of your houses. For whosoever eats leavened bread from the first day until the 7th day, that soul shall be cut off from Israel. And in the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and in the 7th day there shall be a holy... For in the first day there shall be a holy convocation, and the 7th day there shall be a holy convocation to you. No manner of work shall be done in them, save that which every man must eat, that only may be done of you. And you shall observe the feast of unleavened bread, for in this selfsame day have I brought your armies out of the land of Egypt. Therefore shall you observe this day in your generations as an ordinance forever. In the first month, on the 14th day of the month at evening, you shall eat unleavened bread until the 1 and 20th day of the month at even. 7 days there shall be no leaven found in your houses, for whosoever eats that which is leavened, even that soul shall be cut off from the congregation of Israel, whether he be a stranger or born in the land. So stranger means Gentile convert, born in the land means like a Semitic from the lineage of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. You shall eat nothing leavened, in all your habitations shall you eat unleavened bread. Then Moses called for all the elders of Israel and said unto them, Draw out and take you a lamb according to your families, and kill the Passover. This is the exact same phrase the disciples said to Jesus. I believe it was in Luke. Where do you want us to kill the Passover? So Jesus celebrated the Passover. He had the Passover lamb with his disciples. He had the Last Supper. He washed their feet, which is necessary for burnt sacrifices. You wash your hands and your feet before you give a burnt sacrifice. And Jesus said, you do not understand what I'm doing now, but you will understand later. Washing their feet was how he prepared them for the burnt sacrifice, which was Jesus on the cross. When he died, he went to hell. His soul, being perfect, went to hell, and he opened the gates of hell. You shall kill the Passover. You shall take a bunch of hyssop and dip it in the blood that is in the basin, and strike the lintel and the 2 side posts with the blood that is in the basin, and none of you shall go out at the door of this house until the morning. For the Lord will pass through to smite the Egyptians, and when he sees the blood on the lintel and on the 2 side posts, the Lord will pass over that door, and will not suffer the destroyer to come in unto your houses to smite you. And you shall observe this thing for an ordinance to thee and to your sons forever. And it shall come to pass, when you be come to the land which the Lord your God will give you, according as he has promised you, you shall keep this service. And it shall come to pass, when your children shall say unto you, what mean you by this service? That you shall say, it is the sacrifice of Yahweh's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our houses. And the people bowed the head and worshipped. And the children of Israel went away and did as Yahweh had commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass that at midnight the Lord smote all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh that sat on his throne until the firstborn of the captive that was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of cattle. And Pharaoh rose up in the night, he and all his servants and all the Egyptians, and there was a great cry in Egypt, for there was not a house where there was not one dead. And he called for Moses and Aaron by night and said, rise up and get you forth from among my people, both you and the children of Israel, and go serve Yahweh as you have said, and take your flocks and your herds as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. And the Egyptians were urgent upon the people that they might send them out of the land in haste, for they said, we will all be dead men. And the people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up in their clothes upon their shoulders. And the children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they borrowed of the Egyptians jewels of silver and jewels of gold and raiment. And Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. This is in the Ipuwer Papyrus. It talks about how the servants have basically looted the rich. The Ipuwer Papyrus talks about these 10 plagues, how the rivers turned to blood, how the servants have basically looted the wealthy. It's talking about death is everywhere. The Ipuwer Papyrus lines up with this, found in Egypt. And the children of Israel journeyed from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, that were men beside children. And a mixed multitude went up also with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. The mixed multitude were not Hebrews. These were basically pagans who left among the Hebrews, and they provoked them every step of the way. Oh, can God give us water? Can God give us food? Oh, it hurts. I want to go back to Egypt. That's who the mixed multitude was. And they baked unleavened cakes of the dough, which they brought forth out of Egypt, for it was not leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt and could not tarry, neither had they prepared for themselves any victual. Now the sojourning of the children of Israel who dwelt in Egypt was about 430 years. And it came to pass at the end of the 430 years, even the selfsame day it came to pass, that all the hosts of the Lord went out from the land of Egypt. It is a night to be much observed unto the Lord for bringing them out of the land of Egypt. This is that night of the Lord to be observed for all the children of Israel for all generations. And the Lord said unto Moses and Aaron, this is the ordinance of the Passover. There shall no stranger eat thereof, but every man's servant that is bought for money, when you have circumcised him, then shall he eat thereof. A foreigner and a hired servant shall not eat thereof. In one house shall it be eaten. You shall not carry forth aught of the flesh abroad out of the house, neither shall you break a bone thereof. Jesus did not have one bone broken on the cross. All the congregation of Israel shall keep it. And when a stranger shall sojourn with you, and will keep the Passover to the Lord, let all his males be circumcised, then let him come near and keep it. And he shall be as one that is born in the land. So when a stranger, a Gentile convert, he has to keep the law of Moses, and he will be as one born in the land. For no uncircumcised person shall eat thereof. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and one to the stranger that sojourns among you. So there's one law for Gentile converts, and there's one law for the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. This is important because there's a lot of heretical Jews who tell Gentiles not to study the Torah and to follow the Noahide laws instead. And this is not what Moses commanded. One law shall be to him that is homeborn, and unto the stranger that lives among you. Thus did all the children of Israel as the Lord commanded Moses and Aaron, so did they. And it came to pass the selfsame day that the Lord did bring the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt by their armies. Happy Passover, everybody. Get some lamb, get some goat, get some bitter herbs like parsley, get some salt, get some unleavened bread or tortillas. Do what it commands. This is the most important day of the year. This is the day Jesus was crucified. This is the day that Moses got the favor of Pharaoh to leave Egypt with his people. This is the day of the Lord.